don't know, drama from the beginning. But anyways, this is what happens in life.
I'm entertaining angels. I'm opening the door. Everyone who comes to me is an angel to adore. The angel that I've been waiting for. Every child that comes to me, I feel the heavens unfold, and every smile that shines in me is an angel that I can hold. The angel that I've been waiting for. I can't seem to understand why you chose me out of everyone. You know how many times I have tried, but every time I look around, I see that you're the only one, an angel straight from heaven by my side. And this angel straight from heaven I won't deny. I'm entertaining angels. At my table they're all the same. Everyone that I welcome there is an angel that I have gained, an angel that will remain. I can't seem to understand why you chose me out of everyone. You know how many ways I have tried, but every time I look around, I see that you're the only one, an angel straight from heaven by my side. this angel straight from heaven. I won't deny. I'm entertaining angels. I'm opening the door. Everyone who comes to me is an angel to adore. The angel that I've been waiting for.
Love God and the Art of French Cooking from Ben Robbins. That's his song for the book. And I want to thank him for letting us use his music for our shows. And what a great song to start out our show, Drama to Dharma. My name is Josie Herndon, and I'm here with Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel, and we give messages on a weekly basis, although it's been over a month, if you can believe it, since my last live show. So I want to thank everybody for coming back. I was very busy all of September and into October. So I was also doing writing. That's why we thought we'd start out back with our fall shows and talking about the book, so that you could know where we are with the work that I'm doing with Archangel Gabriel. And again, that music just put me into a wonderful place of meditation, and I love to do that when I'm starting the show, right before the show. I have a couple of announcements. We've been doing Thursday nights for almost 2 years now, and we're going to be moving starting in November. So I believe it's November 7th. We'll be moving to Sunday nights at 7. And I think that's going to be better for everybody. I know it'll be better for me because I'll have the weekend to relax and then get ready for the show on Sunday. Sunday is usually the day I get to write. And so I'm in the zone. Thursday seems to be my busiest day of the week, running a treatment center. So I work there today, and then I have to come home and try to figure out, how do I shift gears, from running it, doing all my daily busy stuff, and then, getting into the zone. Although it does happen, but it's easier for me personally to be tired and say, oh, let's skip the show tonight after a long day's work. Versus Sunday night, when I've been just writing all day, spending time at home, and able to do the show in hopefully a nice, space of being off for the weekend. And, so that's and then Gabriel says it's going to be a good opportunity for us to kind of shift the topic also to getting ready for the week. And that'll get me, to where the things that I'm writing, I'll get to share for that day because I'll already have been in the zone. And we're going to talk about the week ahead and how we can prepare ourselves spiritually for that week ahead. For those of us that still work Monday through Friday. I haven't retired yet, so I'm still working Monday through Friday. And for those who are students, and, typically most people are busy during the week versus the weekend. So we're going to have a show this week, as you know, well, right now, hello. And I have Carolyn Gross as my guest, who's been helping me with the writing over the last few months. And then we have my coach. She's my writer's coach. So we've been working all summer. And then we have next Thursday, I have Debbie G, who is our host for Spirituality Gone Wild, which I want to thank you, Debbie, for always being there and helping me with everything to put these shows together. And Debbie's going to be our guest, and we're going to talk about gratitude, and we're going to talk about relationships. So for those of you who know Debbie and you know her online, she's engaged and she's in love. And it's like, wow, okay, we're going to talk about Joe and all that good stuff and gratitude. We're going to say, hey, what's going on here? Yay. So that's what we're going to do. Another thing is that, energetically tonight is a full moon. The full moon actually was started yesterday. And for me, usually it's like, oh, people are like, oh, it's a full moon and that's so great. And, go howl at the moon and do all these moon things. and I'm exhausted during full moons. I just like I end up falling asleep during full moons, and then I guess I feel like I get downloads. I get, all this whatever moon energy. It comes to me in my sleep, and that's when I rest. So this moon is called the Hunter's Moon, and because it's such a full bright moon. So if you haven't had an opportunity, check the moon out, because it's going to start shrinking tomorrow, and it is like a bright spotlight. The hunters loved the October moon so that they could, the night hunters, so that they could go out and do their hunting. And that's what I'm assuming that it's for when it's called Hunter's Moon. So it helps the hunters to see their prey. Thank God most of us just have to go to the grocery store. But for those who are still hunting, but otherwise, it's a beautiful, beautiful harvest. It's not the harvest moon. That was last month, but it is a beautiful moon. I hope you can enjoy that. And with the full moon comes so much energy. And just, feel into that energy tonight while you're sleeping. Know that that moon is out there, and it's just like going to put you to sleep, rock you to sleep. Ask for those angels to give you the downloads from heaven, during the full moon, when that energy is open, and especially when it's as bright as it is now. Just, feel that wonderful energy of the universe, because the moon is the spotlight for us at night. A universal spotlight and a universal portal that brings us more energy, through from the universe, from the other side of that the other side of this. Well, this is actually not as dark as the other side, but anyways, as far as the atmosphere goes, but from one realm to the other, the moon will reflect that. And the moon is a reflection, because you've noticed sometimes Gabriel says that when you see the moon, from your mind's eye, you see the moon, and it's actually a mirror and a reflection to you, more so than the sun. The sun you can't even look into, so there's no reflection of yourself and your soul. But with the moon, he says you can look at it, you can enjoy it, and you can meditate on reflection, and that it would be more like a mirror to yourself, is what he says, that you're able to look at that moon and see the mirror. That's why sometimes moon pictures will actually have faces in them and things like that. So you can, meditate on that moon. He's saying that moon is a reflection mirror to you and your soul. And that is, that is what he wants me to share about the moon. There's a lot to share about. Let's see. Jim put in a question. He says, can you please share about the purpose of your book? Okay, yes, we're going to get into the book. I was just talking about the moon. No, we're gonna actually talk when Carolyn comes up. We're going to talk quite a bit about the book and the purpose of the book and how we came to the title of the book. Let's see, I have Carly saying, I love the thought that we can prepare for our upcoming week with the angels. Looking forward to the new Sunday gathering with you and the angels. What are the angels saying about this upcoming holiday season, about humans learning to be a part of the total human family? Wow, that's a beautiful question, Carly. Thank you so much. And for those of you who haven't partaken in my show, I ask you to put questions, please, into the comments. And I don't always see the questions, but Debbie sees the questions, and then she can post them for me. And these are questions that we can ask the angels, and just like Carly just did. So that's what this time is. And then we're going to bring Carolyn up and talk about the purpose of our book. So we're kind of doing our Q&A first for a minute. So thank you, Carly, for this beautiful question. Let me see. I'm going to ask Gabriel to answer this. Looking forward to the sun. Thank you. Yes, the Sunday gatherings are going to be wonderful. And the angels, what are the angels saying about the upcoming holiday seasons, about humans learning to be part of the total human family? Oh, that's a beautiful question, he says. So as you can see, I've got holiday decorations behind me, and I love the holidays. I just love decorating for the holidays, and just it gives me a warm and fuzzy feeling. And, just shifting, because I'm from Southern California, I don't really know what the experience is to have many seasons, or the 4 seasons at all, especially here in the desert. There's like 2 seasons. There's hot, and hotter. So, and there's the colors have are brown and browner. So, unless, it's artificial. So, for me, the holidays, I get to decorate and have a fireplace, even though it was 89 today outside. You know what? It's not 120. I'm getting chilly. I'm going to wear long sleeves and I'm going to put my fireplace on. It was only 85 today. So, and I live in the Palm Springs area. So for those who don't know, we're getting to the perfect season, but it has been quite a hot summer. So what he's saying about the holidays is that embrace the holidays, whatever. There are so many holidays for different religions. And so it's not about religions. It's about spirit. It's about God. It's about he who has no name and he who has every name, and to embrace that during this holiday season. So first he's saying, bring forth the energy of your spiritual beliefs so that they can guide you. Your spirit guides the angels. And then bring forth your religious beliefs if you have any. If you don't have any, then, whatever brings you joy during the holiday season, memory wise, because holidays are they're memories from childhood. They are traditions that we cherish as humans. So in order to have that human connection, total human family, embrace what you have learned through your life as your traditions, whatever they are, and bring them forth into your home, so that you could feel that holiday energy, the holy day energy. The angels like to call them the holy days. We call them the holy days because there are so many holy days and the holidays. So they're holidays, holy days. But what the angels are saying is be childlike. Think about your favorite memories when you were a child. And if you don't have good childhood memories, then think about any memories that you have that bring you joy from holidays. So it could be as an adult, you had better memories than when you were a child. So he's just using that as an example. And then you could say, well, what if I don't have those kind of memories either? Then, just have fun. If somebody invites you over for dinner, go if you choose. If not, watch TV. Watch the Hallmark Channel. That's what I do. When I can't get into the holiday, vibe, I just watch the Hallmark Channel starts this Friday with holiday movies, for 2 months. So if you can't get into holiday spirit, just put it on Hallmark, and I guarantee you're going to get a little bit of holiday spirit, because they even have shows about people that don't even believe in holidays, and somehow, by the end, they're all into holidays. So, for a lot of people, that's one part of it, he says. The other part is that these last 2 years have been a big shift in our universe, in our planet. Okay. So holidays may not even feel like holidays. And that's why he's saying, bring up the memories of your traditions so that you can feel a little bit of that holiday spirit as a human family again. Because as a human family, we have all gone together through a pandemic as a human family. No matter where you've been on this planet, we all have something in common for the first time in a long time that we can all recognize as having that in common. Although as time goes on, that connection will shift in a sense, but we still have that in common, and we'll always have that trauma bond together, if you will. So we can together try to, encourage each other to have a happy holiday season. This year we get to be around people. We may have lost some people during holidays. It's a very difficult time for when you're grieving. And I know that personally, because when I've shared with you, my father died when I was 10, my brother when I was 9. And for 4 years, we didn't celebrate holidays. And really the holidays were never the same, except for the fact that my father loved holidays. So in order to feel connected to my father's spirit, I always wanted to overdo the holidays. I know that that's where this comes from, to feel connected with my dad. However, there were 4 years where we didn't decorate, we didn't have trees, Christmas trees, we didn't do anything, and because there's no time in grief. So if you don't feel that you can do holidays because of grief, don't worry about it. That's fine. You're exactly perfect where you are. Just feel the love of anybody that, that is giving you love and says, I love you during the holidays. Just accept love from family and friends, and know that, in 4 or 5 years or 3 years, who knows, that time's never, but at some point you'll be able to celebrate a holiday again. It may not be this year, and it could be next year. So if you are feeling, grief, that means you're kind of in this no time zone where there's no time. And next thing you know, it's 4 years later and you're like, you know what, I think I might get a Christmas tree. Okay. That's okay. And this year I'm not gonna get, okay, it's okay. You don't need to get a Christmas tree. Or you may not ever get a Christmas tree again. I don't know. My mom never did. But well, she did, because we put the trees up. So, it depends on where you are. So just love yourself around the holidays. And the human family, that's the thing about a human family, Carly, is that we are family. So when we see somebody that we love that is grieving and they can't, or that they're having joy, let's just celebrate with them. Let's just love them wherever they are, as if they were our brother and sister or our aunt and uncle, depending. So we can just move forward with loving each other during this holiday season, and being grateful. There's so many wonderful things. So the human experience as a family is very important. Yesterday, I went and took my grandsons to Knott's Berry Farm, to Camp Snoopy, actually, because they're 6, 6, and 7. And I'm just going to share a quick little story. My 7-year-old grandson, he won. He put his money in, and then he grabbed one of those candies that you never can grab. He was so excited. He's autistic, partially autistic, and he's just the sweetest Zen baby. I mean, he's just the best kid on the planet. So one of the best kids. I won't say the best because they're all wonderful, but he's just got this huge heart. So he got the candy and it didn't go down. I mean, the machine took the candy. He was excited. And then they had a little trick thing there where the candy didn't come down to the kids. And I thought, wow. And he got so upset. He said, what is wrong with human beings? And why do they have to keep candy from a kid that we paid for it? And I thought, wow. He knew. He's so brilliant. He's just like, I thought, I was going to say, well, these things happen and it was a little accident, but no, he saw what it was. It was a ripoff. He's 7 years old. And it was like, there was no way he could have ever got the candy. And there's a bunch of candy stacked there from other kids that never got it. And I thought, why would they do that? I mean, it costs $1.50 a try. He tried twice. It's a 10-cent candy. So needless to say, of course, I'm going to write to, whoever I have to and see if I can't have them fix that for my grandson. I'm on this mission. And it could have just been the machine was broken, and I told him, I said, let's just pretend, let's just imagine that, the next kid that comes is going to get 2 candies because it was just stuck. And he's like, yeah, but I looked at it. He goes, I don't think that anyways. So, when you're talking about a human family, my grandson, right away, and he was bummed out the rest of the afternoon, but he knew what was going on. He was like, why as humans can't we basically get along and do the right thing? Why are we trying to, and when he asked me that question, it kind of threw me off. I had to take him for a little walk around the park and kind of contemplate that and come up with these other answers, because I didn't want to come up with superficial answers for him because he's so smart. So, that's the $1 million question. How in the world can humans, be together? And Gabriel's saying from an angelic standpoint, that's impossible. Okay. For humans, okay, about humans learning to be a part of the total human family. As humans, we are connected as one on one level. So this is a spiritual conundrum, he says. So we're all connected as one, but yet we are very separate. So we can, try to, as humans, imagine that we're all going to, be a total human family, but everybody's on a different level of energy. So there's no judgment. He says, there's a higher vibration, a lower vibration. We all have the capacity to be at any vibration at any time. So there's no judgment, right? Because we can be depressed one day, have anxiety, and believe me, I'm guilty of all that, right? And then it's like, so I'm at a lower vibration at that moment. I'm at the same vibration as somebody who's stealing candy from a kid. Basically, I mean, so there's no judgment. But as humans, if we can just, try to raise our vibration, pray for the answers from God, the angels, your higher source, the light, the universe, to give you, the strength to show compassion, to show love for each other. And then we will connect with other humans. He says it's like Velcro. We'll start connecting to other humans that have that love, that have that compassion, that are at that same vibration that we are. Okay. So again, this is a night of reflection with the big moon. He says we can look out at the moon and we can reflect on ourselves, say, where are we with our energy? Where are we in our walk with God? Where are we? And this is a great place for me now, Jim, to bring your question up, which is, can you please share about the purpose of your book? So these comments that we have from Gabriel and these sharings that we have from Gabriel are the types of things we're writing in the book. And our book title is Being God's Paintbrush. And that is something that came up over the summer with Carolyn Gross, who's my writer's coach. And I'm going to bring Carolyn up now because we're going to share some of our experiences and then we're going to bring Gabriel in. So thank you, Carly, for that beautiful question. And I hope that answered it for you. And then now, Jim, we're going to answer your question. Hi, Carolyn. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Josie. How exciting.
Yes, yes. Thank you for joining.
The Hunter's Moon. Oh, boy.
The Hunter's Moon, our reflection, so that we can see where we're at, Gabriel says. Let's check it out.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I'm really enjoying just your casualness, how comfortable you are between all the stories you've shared and the wisdom you've imparted already.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that because the fact that I haven't had a show in over a month, and this is a live show for an hour. People ask me all the time, how do you do a live show for an hour? I'm like, well, I don't. It's pretty much Gabriel and I. So when I can start out with the meditation and allow the angels to share, then it just kind of flows. And you've been with me writing the book, so you've experienced that with me, how it just kind of comes through as it's supposed to. And that happens with us. So
when we first met, it was like we were having this conversation and you had done a class and we were having your coaching session that was included in the class. And then I'm at your beautiful facility and your gorgeous office. And all of a sudden you look at me like, I got to tell her now, that
it was fine.
Gabriel, I channel Archangel Gabriel and he wants to come through. And I'm like, right on. Dilemma. So that's how it all kicked off, and it went from there. But yes, it's what a special message you do have for the world. And also, I want to just honor that there are a lot of people that have angel connection, but don't come out fully or have the mission like you do to really be this instrument between humankind and angel kind. So I thank you for your courage and the commitment.
And you've seen, and so this is what I thought. Okay, so I just keep saying this. So the question is, what is the purpose of the book? So the name of the book is Being God's Paintbrush. That's for all of us to be God's paintbrush, right? So we all have our gifts and we all have our abilities to tap into the angels, to tap into the universe. It's there for all of us. It's not actually a gift. Gabriel always tells me it's not a gift because we all have it. So good, but we can call it a gift if we want. So this is what I imagined. Okay, so we're God's paintbrush, and I'm going to be God's paintbrush. See, there's
is that your brush up there?
My paintbrush head. I'm the paintbrush. I just, I thought, because I'm still bonding with that name of the book, that. I'm like, okay, God's paintbrush. So I'm just imagining that this hair of mine is the paintbrush.
And now my brush is going to stay smooth here. I'm not going to fluff it up. You do whatever you want with your brush. Mine's going to be
yours is. I know now my brush is all of that. But I just had to do that because we are all we are all. I mean, we are okay. This is what Gabriel says. As humans, we all have the capacity to do anything, of course, spiritually. But when we say yes to God, if and when we say yes to God. It's an option. It's an option. But if we say yes to God, God, I want to be your paintbrush. I want to be your instrument. I want to be your scribe. I want to be your voice. I want to be your teacher on earth. Whatever it is, I want to be a healer for you. Whatever it is, and you ask him and you get that confirmation from him, which spiritually when you do, and you say yes to him, it's on. It's good. It's like, let's go. Let's start painting. Let's start playing music. Let's start writing. Let's start, God, use me to be a vessel for you, right? I am a vessel for you. I've said yes. Let's go for it. From the highest realm. And he will show you. And Gabriel, for me, because I was raised in such a strict Christian background and very conservative, the whole channeling thing for me is like, what the heck when I first started, but being that it's from the angelic realm and that it's one angel for me. Now, Gabriel has many humans. He has you, he has but for me, what I do is writing his book and whatever, our relationship. I don't have other things that I'm delving into, if you will. I'm not trying to do all kinds of stuff. I'm focused on this. So it's up to you when you're asking them to be the paintbrush, so that's what we're writing in the book. We're writing in the book, how do you tap into first we have these great chapters. Chapter 1 is drama to Dharma. That's Josie's story. And how did I get to where I'm at now with Gabriel? So Josie's drama. And again, this is how we started the show like 2 years ago. It was kind of a joke as I'm writing the book, Josie's drama, Gabriel's Dharma, of course. But then, it reverses. So anyways, the drama story is my story in my memory. As you know, you were there with me when we were writing a lot of this. So my story and how I got to hear and the different teachers and experiences in my life. And then it talks about Gabriel and how he came into my life. So it's kind of, how did this happen? And the reason we're doing that is because, and we're doing it in a way to where we're not going to make it all about me, but to where everybody can or some people could relate to it and go, oh, okay. Oh, I remember when I was 11 years old and, the similar situation happened, or, those, instead of having a trauma, a trauma timeline, I call it an angel timeline, to where you can think about the wonderful people that have touched your life throughout your life and how that expanded you spiritually. So we talk about how did we, kind of our journey to where we are today. And
you have to be an example. I mean, you have to show people what you're doing right away. It happened to me. You're the author. It happened to me. And right away, you're inviting people in, anytime, it's just like you work in this other fabulous field that I'm sure all your listeners know, in recovery. And when somebody recovers, that makes it easier for the next person to recover, right? When they tell their story. So you're like, you're a recovered human who became half human, half angelic, and you're going to tell your story. And if they want to, they can fluff up their hair and
do it too. They can be a paintbrush for God. Yes, they could just, say, okay, I'm going to do it here. Let's paint. Let's do something. Let's paint the world with beautiful color, with beautiful glitter, with, whatever it is. We're going to do it, God. And so everybody has that capacity, and you can. A lot of people think that for me, it took a while because, I was like so clueless my whole life, whatever about it. Well, what is this gift? What is this? What is this? That's why, keep asking. Well, you don't have to do that. The new generation that has come through, the young kids, the young adults, they know already. My daughters know. My daughter, Brianna, knows. She's asking questions. She's figuring it out, her spiritual path. I didn't start these questions until I was in my mid 30s, and, the younger adults now are just like, they know. The kids know. The 20-year-olds, they're on it. They are on it. So, this is just going to remind them, hopefully. This book will just remind them, be like, oh, okay, so I am on track. All right, I am on track. Okay, so playing my music's cool. Doing my art is great. Writing, my journals are wonderful. It's going to encourage, Gabriel says, it will encourage this new generation to keep going with what their spirit's telling them to do. And then for those of us that are a little bit older, same thing. It's good, because then it's taken us to this age going, well, I guess I don't have to look around and see if anybody, because the younger kids don't do that. They just do it, right? They're not like looking to see if anybody's looking. They just do it. But, after a certain age, we're just like, well, we kind of do this. And so anyways, the purpose of the book is to remind us as humans, the human family, of who we truly are and why we're here. And you hear that a lot right now. Gabriel says we're going to be hearing this a lot from many teachers that are his humans, and the human, that other humans that are writers and teachers, because that is the message. That is the message right now coming through. So whether you read it from my book, or you're going to read it from someone else's book, or you're going to hear it on a podcast, or Carolyn, you're going to talk about it when you're speaking, because you're an international speaker and you're a national speaker, this message is what they want us to share, right?
We're trying right now. There's so much negativity coming at us.
Yeah.
And there has been such a long live stream of negativity, fear, doom, gloom. The people who I speak at natural health events and at medical, and it's interesting because I heard right at the beginning of the pandemic, I heard on a Zoom call with other speakers that this thing was going to last 2 years.
Mm.
I heard that at the beginning of April, and I went into an instant depression, anxiety. I mean, I couldn't even figure out. Here I was being very creative in the early months of the, or the weeks of the pandemic, repurposing my clients and Zooming and all this other good stuff. And all of a sudden I heard 2 years and I couldn't fathom it. So what's interesting is your book and other books are going to raise consciousness, raise vibration. So if somebody has an experience, and we'll just use my, that window opened and I heard it was going to be 2 years and I could not take it. My central nervous system could not equate it. Because another thing that happens as a sensitive feels way beyond their own skin.
Right. Oh, yeah. Right.
And so when you open up to be God's paintbrush, as you have, you are opening up to the collective, to read the truth, to see the deception, like your grandson saw the deception of the machine. Right. And I loved how you didn't want to answer him quickly, that you wanted to really give him something from your soul, something from your wisdom. And one of the things that I think we've all had an opportunity, and you with your book as well, is it's been a time to really get introspective and reflective in this lockdown and pandemic, and also realign, is my life on track?
Right. Yes, so much. Oh, this pandemic has been a wonderful opportunity for us as humans to see where we're at, to see. And again, about reflection, this whole topic right now, I just feel the energy of the moon, just since we brought it into our conversation, because it's all about reflecting and looking at where we are in our life today. Because to me, February or January of 2020 almost seems like a lifetime ago. Right? An entire lifetime ago, because it is a different world.
Or how about another lifetime?
Another lifetime. I know. So, and you're right, with books, like with my book, I'm hoping that people will be ready. Gabriel says, people will be ready for that information now. like you said, Carolyn, maybe 3 years ago they wouldn't have been, and that's why the timing is perfect. He says, because I've kind of, felt bad about that it's taken me so long to write the book. I've been working on it 3 years, and he's like, no, everything's perfect timing. 3 years ago, the book would not have been, it probably would have sat on shelves. It would have been, probably in my garage in boxes. So, when it goes out, the energetically, as human family, we will be ready. Some of us will be ready, and it's just going to help. Hopefully the goal is just to help them remember and click into what they need to read that day.
Well, it's such a beautiful cause that again, you've received or opened up. You said yes.
Yeah.
I love, I remember in my early studies, all the people that I knew that were angel aware is the way I'll call it. They all had these beautiful sparkly eyes. So when I was making my commitment to God and to the angels, I remember the day that I said, please take my eyes and use them as you will. Oh, and beautiful. When we go into public, when we work, when we go in public, when we travel, when we're at an airport, when we're at a grocery store, a movie theater, concert, right? And I know that we can open up that consciousness of the angels, of the higher ones. And we can open ourselves as vessels and tunnels or little tubes of light, if you will. Yes. And what have they always said? The eyes are the windows of the soul.
Yes.
So, when people react to you, Josie, they look at you and they go, oh, you're so interesting. Oh, you're so beautiful. Because again, there's a cadence that I believe that the angels put around us to make us glow or make us attractive.
Well, especially when we have their energy, with us, because it's not always, they're always here with us, but when we're in, like right now, a place of meditation, we're talking to them, we're embracing them. Yes, their light, and we ask for their light. That's what comes through our eyes, is the light of God. That's the light that's just beaming because we've asked. So if you ask for God's light to go to fill you in the morning with God's light, you're going to have those sparkly eyes, God's eyes, Father's eyes, and heavenly eyes, divine eyes. And it's not just the color of the eyes, it's the energy of the eyes. And so especially right now that we're still wearing masks, those eyes are so important because that's the only way we can communicate, or with our eyes, right? So if we ask if we ask to have angel eyes, to have God's eyes, to have the light shine through our eyes, that's our communication with other people, and they're going to feel God's light through our eyes. Truly, right now is the only time. That's why you can't even get an appointment for lashes anymore, because everybody's getting lashes, because that's all that we can see. I mean, that's all the people,
I haven't gone that far yet. That's a beauty step I have yet to take. Oh no! Oh no!
I get my lashes because that's like
I have to have angel eyes and angel lashes. I like that. Okay.
Well, that's an optional, but that was
really no.
You know what I mean? It's like our eyes are so important.
But the other comment I have on that is when I did give over my eyes. Yeah. What I also got was the eyes to see. The eyes to see that higher. So like if the human wants to broadcast a lot of things that aren't true or that are designed to upset your frequency, when you have the eyes to see, you go, I don't know. I don't think so. I'm going to shut that off. You know what I mean? That I can't absorb. Right. I can't absorb that message right now. Yeah. So there's two parts to it. And, but you've got so much, are you going to talk about your second chapter? Because I always tell my emails to you are always your second chapter.
The other part to say, I'll finish with so we say yes, or we have the choice to not say yes. We don't have to say no to God. Of course, whoever wants to do that,
right. Right.
But you don't, if you're not ready to like go for it and be the God's paintbrush, you know, you can at least read the book. And
If you want to keep your hair
you want
straight
to
like
keep your
mine.
hair nice and straight, and you don't want to, like, you know, you make that commitment yet. Is it, you know, you can always make that commitment in 5 years, but, you know, read about it, get prepared, do some of the things, and, you know, that
Good.
we're talking about, just to raise your vibration as a human being. And, you know, then it'll manifest according to how it was, because what happened, or as it should be in timing. Because for me, I read a book, and then that book opened up my mind and spirit, and then I read another book, and then I started going to teachers. So it's not like the one book. For some people, the one book might just be like, wow, this is great, and then they're going to keep seeking, you know, and journeying, and have that beautiful experience. So that's, you know, so that's the wonderful thing, is that, you know, we're inviting you to be God's paintbrush, to say yes to God. But if you're not ready, by all means, you know, let this book just be a stepping stone to at least contemplation of possibly, you know, saying maybe. You know,
Well,
I'm open to maybe, you know, and that's a good too. That's awesome. That's
and
wonderful.
if they're tuning into you and they're listening to Gabriel and you, then they're already on a path here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Okay, so chapter 2. You want to share that chapter name that we came up with? Or the
Well, and this is Gabriel. The planet is transforming.
Yes, the planet is transforming. So we touched on some of that tonight, and with Carly's wonderful question, and got into a little bit of detail. But the planet is transforming in so many ways, and so with that chapter, we have just been writing. Gabriel has been writing about all the new things that have happened on the planet, that are happening now in our transformation. And he does talk about even like fires, and reminder of how important forest fires are, because that is cleansing the planet. We have held back on allowing forest fires to do their thing, you know, with the trees, to burn so that the seeds can come out, and plant more trees. And, you know, it's almost like they're when there's a forest fire, they're pruning, and that helps with our oxygen, that helps with our new trees. It's, you know, Jim and I have talked about, and Jim loves the idea of going and planting trees, and I think it's wonderful. But to have a natural, you know, process, evolution of the planet, by, you know, allowing forest fires to replenish the forests. We haven't been doing that. We've been building homes and stuff like that. So I, you know, that chapter is not anything political. It's not trying to go one way or the other. He's just talking about how the planet is transforming with over 8 billion humans. And what does that look like? You know, and then also, what can we do in our little circle? If we all did a little something in our realm, in our you know, neighborhood, in our community, then we could, you know, we could make a difference. We could make a difference. So and we've done a lot over the last, he says, you know, for the fact that you know, the industrial age started in the 1920s, about 100 years ago. And so for 60 years, there was a huge boom of smog and all kinds of things damaging the planet. And then, you know, over the last, you know, maybe 20 years, you know, we've been trying to be more,
Greening.
yeah. So, you know, and now 100 years later, the industrial age is really now the technical age, right? So we're trying to go up to space. And so, you know, and he talks about, you know, how also when the earth is transforming, looking at history to see how where we are today that makes sense, you know, because there is a lot going on now that is very similar to 100 years ago, but it was industrial age 100 years ago. Now it's he doesn't really call it the space age. It's more like the technical age, I guess, technology age. And so when we look at having, you know, these big companies owning, you know, portions of the economy, it was the same thing 100 years ago, but with different families. So and you know, back then it was millions, and now, you know, they're all fighting for, you know, they're all working to get their trillions. It's all relevant to inflation. he's like, millions and trillions. I mean, so, things like that. I mean, he doesn't go into
we just skipped right over billions, right? It's just like
billions had a small lifetime. No, just kidding. But the world is going fast. Billions are great too. But what we're talking about as the planet's transforming is that if you look, we can also look historically at the planet and how it has how it's changed throughout time, and that we are still here, but now we have over 8 billion people. So yeah, we're going to have to figure out how do we live together and during this transformation of the planet that is necessary, because the other part of this from the spiritual realm is that we have actually elevated to a higher realm through all of this process. So it gets a little deep in there, but we talk about practical things that are happening, like we were saying, the forest fires, how important that is, the ocean and the plastic, and thinking about, for me, I was never really like too worried about it, and then I thought about the dolphins and the fish, swallowing all the plastic, and I thought, that's terrible. I mean, literally. So then that's when I started really getting into recycling, because in my mind, what clicked for me was the animals in the ocean, or the fish in the ocean and the mammals in the ocean. And I was just thinking, okay, that's really affecting them. So if you can find something that will connect you to the planet on a level that works for you, whether it's has to do with the animals or the trees or the water, that's a whole other story. The water, oh my goodness. So and he says it's not like the doom and gloom chapter, but it talks about different things that are happening on the planet,
maybe to get people to be more active
and to be more proactive. More active. Yeah, be more active in your life and your community, because we do have other generations coming through, and they are brilliant. The new generations are going to figure it out. For those of us who don't know that, he says it's true.
I actually had a little comment, because I'm not sure what time your show ends, but you're
8 minutes.
Okay, so is it okay for me to interject a little comment about the holidays?
Yes.
Okay, because it was interesting how Carly had, a really great question, and it was layered, but it brought up that holiday season. And then when you responded, Gabriel, was sort of suggesting that it might not quite feel like before, BP, before pandemic. Mm-hmm. But in my early angel studies in the 80s, I was taught about the angelic procession that goes around the earth during Christmas Eve, and then also on New Year's Eve. Mm-hmm. And so I just thought, if that wasn't something that you had talked about with your listeners, maybe that was something to throw into tonight's show, because one thing that has been going on for a really long time. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's going to be interrupted because of any, pandemic. So what spiritual initiates and people that are trying to raise their awareness and their consciousness can do is, on those evenings, and my understanding is that it happens at midnight, and obviously midnight's different in different time zones, right. But you can reflect, you can go into a meditation, and what I was taught early was the reason everybody wakes up so happy on Christmas Day, we think it's the presents and all the relatives, but it's actually that the planet was washed the night before from the angelic procession. Yeah. And that the angels do come into the earth as there is less, so winter solstice, that there's more light from above that's shining on us. But that angel procession, so on Christmas Eve, my experience has always been, it's just a love feeding and a lovely, spiritual celebration. For people who are trying to dedicate themselves, the procession on New Year's Eve is, you can often receive it's like a keystone of what your upcoming year's work will be with growth. Yeah. And so for people that are looking for help or feeling lost, then they would meditate on New Year's Eve, and then just be waiting to see if anything came in, as a thought that maybe that would be their keynote or keystone or key word for the next coming year, the 2022. And that's something that might be real precious to people, like you said, that don't have a lot of those happy memories, or they're grieving, maybe, okay, if things are really out of sorts, or maybe people who haven't worked as much and aren't going to be able to do the big hurrah or hoopla. So anyhow, that was something that came in, and I didn't know when
I
to.
think that's absolutely beautiful. And thank you for sharing that, Carolyn, because, that gives us something to think about, as another tool, and something, that's precious. It's from the message from the other side, from the angelic realm, because there's, we're all like, it's a spiritual, we have the physical and the non-physical, and how are we integrating them together? So exercises like that really brings the angels and the humans together at the same time. And that's why there's so much joy and excitement as well. And to be able to project that for the new year, I think is absolutely wonderful, because I don't know about you, but when I think of 2022 lately, I'm very excited about it. I mean, it's just, okay, 20 and 20. Okay, I thought I was excited about 20 being gone, okay? And it's like, okay, 21 has had a lot of lingerings of it still. I don't know. I feel really light about 22. And 22, 22, that's a good angel number. I just feel good about 2022. So maybe we could do a special show around the first of the year where we can talk about all the ways that, we can, encourage each other. And my last vision board was actually 2020. I had a vision board party. I would have them every year. We had a vision board. You were there. Were you there? I don't know if you were there. No, it was over at Venus. Yeah, we had a vision board party. We had music. We had, everybody came and we were doing vision boards. It was an event. And
Nice.
And with my friend Renee Barbaro. And so, and then, it'd be like, what did we all put on our vision boards? Because 2020 was, so then I went, looked at my board, and it's like, gosh, part of my board wasn't even covered. So, I haven't done a vision board. So I don't know. Well, let's meditate and pray. Do we do a vision board for 2022? Do we scratch the vision board and do something else? We'll see. I have a feeling we're going to do something new for 2022. So let me see here. Chelsea, where's Chelsea's question? Okay. Hi, Chelsea. Oh, thank you for joining. Chelsea, my daughter, she's over in Pittsburgh. My goodness. And we're in California. So thank you for staying up in the East Coast, Chelsea. From my experience, pandemic holidays via Zoom was definitely not the same of holidays 2021. There's nothing more than being with friends face to face 2022. Exactly, Chelsea. Yes. Will be even better. Absolutely. Thank you. It has been tough because we, I don't know about you, but I mean, I literally, and then again, I haven't seen a lot of my family in the last 2 years. And it's like, well, it's almost, well, okay. I don't know. It's weird. It's like we were, it interrupted like the busyness. So it is going to be wonderful to see each other again, but we may do things differently, not as, big. And I don't know. It'll just be interesting.
Well, you know me, I talk a lot about how we redefine our lives after crisis.
Yeah.
And
you've written the book on post-chaos. Yes.
Yeah. So what happens is that book's titled Rise Above the Chaos.
Rising Above Chaos, right.
And it was written before the pandemic. Mm-hmm. So the whole point of that is that when we do go get back together, we're a little different. We've got to just allow, and you talked about no judgment. I loved that part of the early message. And but really how special it is to be on your show and that you're doing this for humanity.
Yes. Thank you so much, Carolyn. And I continue to enjoy our time together. You're a wonderful writer's coach. We had a writer's retreat, and that's where things really popped with the book. And it's still, we're still finishing it, but I want to thank you. And I wanted to give an update to everybody on what I've been doing over the last couple months in regards to Gabriel's work and the book. And again, invite you to start Sundays, every Sunday starting November 7th at 7 p.m. We're going to be doing our Drama to Dharma. But next Thursday, we are going to have one more. So we're trying to let people know 2 Thursdays in a row about the change. And we're going to have Debbie G on with us and talk about gratitude and love and her relationship that she is now engaged to Joe. Because for those on Facebook, they all, I know.
Love is prayer.
So, and on Spirituality Gone Wild, but we're going to be talking about gratitude primarily and relationships. So very good. And thank you, Carolyn, for joining us.
You're
thank
so
you
welcome.
to the audience for being here and supporting our show. I hope from my sincere heart and spirit to your sincere heart and spirit that this will uplift you through the week until we can see each other again on Thursday. Much love and gratitude. Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.